Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, let's dive right in. Today, we're not just looking at watches, we're stepping squarely into the shoes of an elite luxury collector. We're going to evaluate the world's most expensive timepieces as the ultimate billionaire's asset portfolio, a space where, honestly, telling the time is genuinely the absolute least important feature. We are stepping inside a highly guarded, super exclusive world, a private vault where the richest people on the planet secure, display, and literally wear their wealth. Seriously, why drop the equivalent of a Gulfstream private jet on a watch you might never ever wear in public? It's a fascinating question, right? And it completely shifts our perspective. When a single piece of jewelry carries a price tag that rivals a private aircraft, its true function isn't tracking hours and minutes. It's about absolute exclusivity. It's about unmatched rarity and the tangible, heavy weight of holding an asset that practically no one else on Earth can obtain. Imagine the tactile feel of strapping millions of dollars of perfectly engineered precious metal and ancient gems to your wrist. It's an undeniable assertion of status, curated specifically for an audience of peers who understand that true luxury is acquiring the absolutely unobtainable. To break all of this down, we're going to systematically examine these rare case studies across 5 distinct asset classes today. 1. Materials beyond the earth. 2. The pinnacle of complexity. 3. History and provenance. 4. Masterpieces of diamond artistry. And finally, 5. The ultimate luxury assets. So look, the crucial point here for an elite collector is that an astronomical valuation basically always comes down to 3 foundational pillars. First up, rare materials. And we're talking everything from ancient meteorites to flawlessly cut diamonds. Second, complications. This represents the staggering amount of time and intricate engineering required to build the thing. When you wear a highly complicated watch, you are essentially strapping generations of human genius right to your wrist. And third, the intangible value, that unique, singular history and provenance that elevates a beautiful object into a priceless historical artifact. All right, let's hit category 1, materials beyond the earth. We're looking at base materials that literally defy earthly limits. Picture this. You're evaluating a masterpiece where the core asset is literally a piece of outer space, something the average person will simply never encounter in their lifetime. At $4.6 million, the Louis Monet Meteors collection isn't just a watch, it's a cosmic vault. To create this, the manufacturer literally had to look to the stars to source their materials. There are only 4 of these watches in existence, and each one contains something entirely alien to our planet. We are talking about authentic, certified moon rock, fragmented rock from the surface of Mars, and exquisitely rare meteorites. Think about the sheer visual artistry involved here, taking raw, ancient space debris, cutting it with microscopic precision, and polishing it into a sublime, sweeping watch dial. You aren't just reading the time, you're gazing into the ancient history of our solar system. Now, flip that idea on its head and compare that exotic cosmic material to the Patek Philippe Reference 1518. Its massive $11.1 million valuation comes from a totally different, staggering anomaly: stainless steel. You see, almost all luxury watches from Patek are expected to be made with heavy yellow or rose gold. But for an elite collector, extreme rarity always beats pure gold. When this piece was auctioned off in late 2016, its stainless steel casing made it a supreme, almost mythical anomaly in the collecting world. And if you have the privilege of turning it over, checking the back reveals the number 1, meaning it is the very first of an ultra-limited 4-piece series. It's the ultimate insider's flex, you know? It's a watch that looks deceptively simple to the untrained eye, but signals absolute supremacy to those in the know. Moving on to category 2, the pinnacle of complexity. This is where the asset is pure artistry in mechanical engineering. 2,800. That is the insane number of densely packed, microscopic components jammed inside the Vacheron Constantin 572060, driving an astounding 57 complications. And just a quick reminder, in horology, a complication is any function a watch can perform beyond just telling the time. So a perpetual calendar, a lunar phase display, a split-seconds chronograph, you get the idea. To an elite collector, this isn't just a machine. It's a bustling microcity of moving parts. To fit 2,800 individual components into a single, solid 18-karat white gold case requires a level of precision that frankly borders on the impossible. It's a beautifully chaotic symphony of gears and springs working in perfect, frictionless harmony. And this particular masterpiece, it was quietly secured by a private buyer for a cool $8 million. And honestly, this brilliantly illustrates the sheer human capital required. This is the hidden luxury story behind the dial. We are talking about teams of master watchmakers dedicating years, sometimes entirely sacrificing their eyesight and decades of their lives, to build these mechanical geniuses from scratch. The famous Patek Philippe Henry Graves pocket watch, which fetched an astonishing $24 million, by the way, took over 5 years to meticulously craft in the 1930s. The Vacheron Constantin we just looked at took a team of 3 master watchmakers over 8 uninterrupted years to design and assemble. It's a staggering human toll. It's an investment of life itself, poured into a device that sits in the palm of your hand. And as we'll see next, some pieces take entire lifetimes to realize. Which leads us perfectly into category 3, history and provenance. Because sometimes the true value is just the weight of an unparalleled story. Take the Breguet Marie Antoinette. At $30 million, this isn't just a pocket watch, it is a surviving relic of royalty that took 44 years to build, and it even survived a modern heist. The story here is deeply romantic and just completely unmatched. It was originally commissioned way back in 1782 by an alleged lover of the French queen. The strict instructions were that gold should replace other metals wherever possible, and that the watch had to contain every single complication known to man at the time. To lower the friction within those intricate gold-encased mechanisms, the watchmaker even utilized perfectly crafted sapphire nodes, which is an incredible feat of early mechanical artistry. Tragically, Marie Antoinette never lived to see it. The piece was finished by Breguet's son 34 years after she went to the guillotine. It was famously stolen from a museum in the late 1900s, vanished into the criminal underworld, and then miraculously was retrieved in 2007. Today, it's secured at the L.A. Meyer Museum, essentially sitting there as a ghost of the French monarchy, coveted by every top collector on Earth for its breathless narrative. All right, let's transition to category 4, masterpieces of diamond artistry. We're diving into high jewelry watches as primary assets. Just to anchor the immense wealth we're about to look at, consider this. If you took the cost of the Jacob & Co. billionaire watch and just tossed it into a standard index fund at a 7% yield, you'd be pulling in $1.3 million every single year. That is the literal opportunity cost of wearing this crown on your wrist. Adorned with 260 carats of brilliant emerald-cut diamonds, the sheer visual impact is just overwhelming. Imagine the blinding refraction of light when the sun hits those impeccably structured stones and the heavy, cold, undeniable feel of pure wealth wrapping around your arm. With a handcrafted movement comprising 167 components, peeking right through the brilliant white fire of the gems, well, the manufacturer truly meant it when they named this the billionaire's watch. And these pieces are deliberate monopolies of rare diamonds, presenting 2 very different philosophies of visual design. Take the $5 million Hublot Big Bang, famously bought by Beyoncé for Jay-Z. Hublot asked themselves, how many diamonds can we geometrically fit onto a wristwatch? The answer? 1,280 stones, beautifully ordered and precision cut. It actually took a full year just to source the stones globally to match their color and clarity. Meanwhile, you've got the $25 million Shop Art going a completely different, almost avant-garde route. It features 874 intensely rare diamonds deliberately arranged with absolutely no traditional pattern. So to a purist collector, it's a fascinating choice, right? Do you want structured, symmetrical perfection or a chaotic, explosive cluster of gems that looks like it just grew organically out of the earth? Selling this piece wasn't just a publicity stunt. It opened a massive door for a new breed of extreme luxury, where the jewelry strictly overtakes the mechanical function. Finally, we arrive at category 5, the ultimate luxury assets. Let's look at the Graff masterpieces. This direct comparison perfectly shows how Graff elevated watches into pure high jewelry dominance, peaking at a staggering $55 million. On the left, we have the Fascination at $40 million, boasting nearly 153 carats of white diamonds. The artistry here is transformative. It features a 38.13 carat D-flawless pear-shaped diamond that incredibly detaches from the watch to be worn separately as a ring. Pretty wild. But on the right, we really have to slow down for the hallucination, which completely shatters the boundaries of wealth at $55 million. It uses 110 carats of exceedingly rare, fancy-colored diamonds set into a platinum bracelet. The visual effect is a breathtaking, blinding kaleidoscope of pinks, blues, greens, and yellows. And if you look incredibly closely, you can just barely make out a tiny, almost hidden quartz dial in the center of this mountain of gems. The timekeeping mechanism is literally an afterthought here, completely buried under an avalanche of the world's most coveted stones. Lawrence Graff himself said, "The Graff hallucination is a sculptural masterpiece." The hallucination has made my diamond dream a reality. And, he hits the nail on the head there. He states this with absolute reverence because these pieces fundamentally transcend keeping time. They are sculptural celebrations of incredibly rare, colored miracles dug straight from the earth. Graff's vision captures the absolute zenith of the collector's market. These aren't watches with diamonds on them. They are world-class diamond collections that just happen to have a tiny clock tucked inside. They represent an all-consuming passion for curating the rarest materials on Earth into a single wearable monument. So that leaves us with kind of a wild final thought for this explainer. When an asset reaches this extreme level of wealth, is its true function simply to exist as a monument to exclusivity? When the price tag rivals that of a Gulfstream jet, the act of telling the time becomes entirely secondary, if not completely irrelevant. It's about preserving unimaginable wealth. It's about owning a piece of deep history and holding a masterpiece you might never even dare to wear in public. So if you were the elite collector holding the keys to this vault, would you actually care that it tells the time or just that it tells the world exactly who you are?